From the NWTV studios on the campus of Northwestern Oklahoma State University, this is 7 News.
Hello, and thank you for choosing NWTV today. I'm Jaxie Cloud.
And I'm Megan Spray. Here's a look at this week's top headlines. New leadership has recently been elected in the city of Alva. Joey Melton was elected as mayor last week. I visited with him a few days ago to learn more about why he ran, what he wants to focus on, and how he's going to deal with Alva's budget. How are you feeling after your victory at the polls?
You know, really good. But so I've spent my life being a diagnostic technician, fixing things. Several things in the city need fixed, and I think I might be the guy to do it. So I'm really excited. It seems like a lot of the, as I've called them, job interviews have been a little grueling because I've never really ever interviewed for a job before, although I have had to sell myself in my businesses to get people to use my companies.
What are some of your primary focuses going to be during your time as mayor?
Ultimately, as I've campaigned on, a lot of the things that I think is an issue is there's a huge gap between public input and the city government, and I really want to close that gap. And so Tuesday evening, as I take over as mayor at the city council meeting and make my mayor's statement for the deal, I get to unleash some of that. But we're going to move back to a 2 meeting a month city council meeting instead of a 1. And my aspirations in that is to get the agenda out soon enough so that on the first Monday will actually be just a discussion agenda. And so that is one where we get the agenda, which will ultimately end up on the 3rd. It's all one agenda. It's all one agenda, but so the discussion portion of it, gotta love people.
I know.
It's the square. I grew up right here, so I'm used to this. Yeah. So it's a discussion agenda where citizens can see what's on that agenda. They can come to City Hall and they can actually get up and speak, and we can speak back. Because if you're familiar with city council meetings, we always offer a 2-minute time for somebody to talk, but we're not allowed to talk back, which has to do with OMA, Open Meetings Acts, and all that hubbub. So that was really one huge aspiration of mine, was to open that up where we can get this agenda out, people can come talk, we can talk back and forth about it, and then when that meeting breaks, they have ultimately 2 weeks to continue that conversation with their, ward representative, their council member, and then on the 3rd, we will go in and do an action agenda, which we will take and either make action on it, vote against it, vote for it, table it, kill it, whatever, but it's ultimately, I'm very much a mayor that's going to serve the citizenry and not the city. And I think that may be new for some of the people at the city, but it's definitely what the citizens need, because without citizens, we have no city. So you take care of the base. And that's my aspirations in that.
What are you most excited for and looking forward to during your time as mayor?
Honestly, working with the city employees. And a lot of people that I've known for a long time, because I've been around here forever, are really counting on me to make the difference. So I'm really looking forward to making that difference, and I'm really looking forward to working with the city people. And I know all of them. I know everybody in the water department, and the street department, and the sanitation department when we had one and what's left of that, the police department and the fire department. I know all these guys, and I'm just really excited to do them no different than I do my own crews. What do you need to do your job to the best of your ability and provide my customer, which as mayor, my customer is the people. So what can we do to make, give the best performance we can, the best, whatever it is they need, get it to them, make them happy.
What drove you to run for this position?
10 years ago when I sat on city council, I tried to attend a finance committee meeting and was not allowed to, which greatly concerned me. I didn't make it through my full term. I got married. We bought a house in a different part of town. And so I had to get off city council. But at that point, I always told myself, if I could be mayor for a day, there's a couple of things I want to change. And this came about, and I'm really at a point in time in life where I just have a lot to offer. And I kind of have some spare time to throw at it. And my wife, who said, if you want a town to retire in, well, you've got to do something. And so that pushed me to do it. And I don't know, it's not something I really dreamed about, and I'm not a politician. I'm just simply a person with abilities and experience doing my civic duty for the people that I care about.
Small towns will often face budget constraints. Do you have any fiscal concerns?
Well, I definitely do. I mean, I personally see a downturn in business. Now, I am lucky because the things I do are mandatory. People just don't. When your heater or air conditioner breaks down, you don't go, oh, well, I really don't need one. No, they've got to have it. And so I'm kind of a recession-proof business in essence, but you know, honestly, in conversation with Kelly Parker, our future business manager, yesterday I told him that I needed the last 3 years of full financials on the city. I need to know exactly what has been brought in and how. I need to know exactly what has gone out and where, excuse me, and why. And I'm going to spend a lot of hours looking at those financials and seeing where we can cut that off, what we can typically expect for future income coming in. And like right now, we're halfway through the city's fiscal year, and I would give great kudos. We've only spent 45% of 50% of the budget, but we've only managed to bring in 38% of the expected 50% of the budget. And even in a small town, that's $620,000. That's a lot of ground to make up. And so we're going to have to go kind of like my grandma and grandpa who lived on a fixed income at the end of their life. You get your money in, you pay your bills, and if you eat beans the rest of the week or the rest of the month, you eat beans the rest of the month. And if things are good, you might buy a steak.
How do you plan to unite the community following the election and work with those who may have supported the other candidates?
You know, kind of like the old saying, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So yes, there will be people that will come at me and be very unhappy. I still feel like the more that I put the effort into people feeling like they have a voice, like what they have to say matters, I think at the end of the day, if you are successful at that, even though the decision that the city might have to make might go against that, I think when you feel included, you can accept things not going your way better than when you feel like you have not been considered.
Mayor Joey Melton will be sworn in at the City Council meeting on February 20th.
Melton takes over as mayor following the resignation of Kelly Parker last December. Parker is about to take on a new role as Alva's net city manager. We had a chance to speak with him earlier this week. How do your responsibilities change, and why are you taking this new position?
The biggest change is going to be from the mayor's standpoint. The authority is there. I mean, you're the highest ranking official for the city, and so but in our form of government here in Alva, the mayor doesn't have any vote on any matters unless it's to break a tie when the city council votes. The mayor sets the agenda, kind of sets the tone, and works hand in hand with the city manager to try and carry out the day-to-day operations. And it's the city manager's job to actually carry out those wishes of the elected officials. So the city council sets the policy, the mayor helps guide that, but then once the policy's set, then it's the manager's job to make sure that the staff and our contractors and anybody else that's working on behalf of the city are carrying out the objectives that have been set forth by the council.
So what changes are you hoping to see and planning to implement as city manager?
I really want to try and, I think if you followed the mayor election, there was a pretty big emphasis on transparency. I want to kind of be a conduit for that, to help the elected officials, understand what the issues are so that they can communicate with the public. I know that just by having been in the mayor's seat, a lot of the questions that people have may be more appropriately directed to the business manager, but that's not the call they make. They're going to call their council members, they're going to call the mayor and things like that when people have questions or concerns. And so it'll be something that I try to really focus on, making sure that those elected officials have good information, that they're able to, answer questions knowledgeably, and that in turn, the concerns from the public are also brought back to management so that we can address those. A lot of things can be addressed without the council having to do anything. It's just a matter of having knowledge of what those issues are, and then having a plan of attack on how to do so. I think that's one thing. I think that kind of starts the path towards accountability, and I think that from a management standpoint, I've worked my entire career in healthcare, but I've done so with a high level of accountability to the people I'm working for and the people that I'm serving. And so I want to see a little bit more of a culture shift to where we really focus on meeting the needs of our public and holding ourselves accountable for the things we say we're going to do.
What's important for the city of Alva to accomplish during your term?
We need, with the city of Alva in particular, we also have a need for, continuity of service. It's a kind of a different workforce these days. And so having the ability to have our staff cross-trained in a variety of different areas helps to ensure that if, whether someone leaves the organization or whether they're just sick or on vacation, that we have continuity and the ability to carry out the day-to-day tasks and responsibilities without missing a beat. And so those are, really a few of the things that I think are going to be important to address from a, overall standpoint. But, when we get down into the weeds of some of the things that we need to do, we've got to get our, do a better job with our streets. We've got to continue to invest in our water infrastructure, and really do some things that make Alva an ideal place for people to want to either relocate themselves and their families or their businesses, so that we can continue to have the economy we need to take care of the community.
Parker will take over his role as city manager on March 3rd.
Northwestern softball is gearing up for conference play this weekend as they look to build momentum heading into the heart of this season. NWTV's Abby Elam recently visited with the coach and players about the team's culture, adjustments, and confidence moving forward.
At 4-8 on the season, the Lady Rangers know there is still room to grow. First-year head coach Efren Barraza says with a few key adjustments, he's looking forward to seeing their potential unfold as conference play begins this weekend.
But this team could easily be 8-4. They've been very competitive in our first 12 games. Very happy with our pitching performance. Defensively, we've been great. I just think we need to tune up a little bit in some offensive part of the game. I'm interested to see how the Great American Conference competition is. Again, I feel like we have a really good team. Our goal is to make the conference tournament, and so I'm just really excited to start conference play this weekend.
After 3 years in a Ranger uniform, junior Katie Jones is reflecting on how far she has come. She credits Northwestern for shaping her development not only as a player, but as a person.
Pitching-wise, just like being on the mound and like knowing that your presence is the center of everything. And I think in the past, I've like I said, my confidence has grown. I think this year, just like I feel firm standing out there and everybody is like behind me.
With conference play set to begin, both players and coaches say the focus now is consistency, turning small adjustments into big results on the field.
This season, I have a new coach on staff. I think I've been so excited to play softball. It's supposed to be fun, and this season has just felt like that so far, and we're only 12 games in. So I think getting into conference play, we're going to get some things going. I think it's going to be good.
This weekend, the Lady Rangers are set to travel to Arkansas Tech University to begin conference play.
The annual STEM camp at Northwestern is happening this summer. This is the 4th year for the event. NWTV's Shaylin Pratt has the details.
Northwestern will be hosting a week-long STEM camp this June that is free for all high school students. Department Chair of Mathematics and Computer Science, Dr. Tim Meharry, says the hands-on activities offered during the camp are what makes it engaging.
This will be the 4th time we've been able to do this camp, so we'll invite 25 high school students on campus for a week. They'll stay in the dorms, and they'll learn all about renewable energy, wind energy, solar energy, hydroelectric power. We partner with Next Era Energy, which is a huge energy company nationwide, and they come and really do a lot of cool, hands-on, exciting things with the students, teaching them about the generation of electricity, how does a wind turbine work, how does a solar panel work, and then we have field events. We go to Alabaster Caverns, we take them to a movie, have different events as part of the camp. So that'll be running the middle of June, and we have students from all over the state that come to that.
Northwestern's math department offers this opportunity for high schoolers each summer.
It's funded by a grant from the Oklahoma State Regents of Higher Education. It's part of their Summer Academies program. There's, I think, 17 different summer STEM academies across the state at different colleges and universities, and so we're one of those camps.
The applications are on Northwestern's website and open on March 1st. The deadline to apply is April 1st. That is when the 25 students will be selected.
That's a look at this week's headlines.
For more, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We'll see you next time.